Hey, thanks so much for joining me for this preview of the grammar material associated with the BTG Spanish 12 Logro method. I'm Keisha, founder of BTG Spanish, and I'm super excited to share this with you because the 12 Logro method is a new method that we are excited to be introducing to the BTG Spanish community. And what the 12 Logro method entails is it entails different logros, meaning milestones, or translating as milestones in English, 12 different logros that will help you by the end of the time that you've reached and accomplished all 12 logros to be able to speak confidently in Spanish. We've put together all the different pieces of Spanish necessary to achieve that. Within each logro, you will have specific tasks that you are able to perform in Spanish, as well as habits that you've formed to incorporate Spanish into your daily life. And finally, learning from reflection. So making sure that you are maximizing your progress on your Spanish journey. So we also have grammar and vocabulary that's associated with each logro as well. And today I'm just giving you a preview of what one of those lessons will look like in Logro 1. If you are a more advanced learner, I'd encourage you to also stick around because it will really help you kind of have a checkpoint for, hey, am I saying this correctly? Because we will be talking about Spanish vowels. This is a foundational lesson, as I mentioned before. And what we're going to see here is that every conversation starts here. The goal is really self-introduction, being able to tell about yourself, introduce yourself very simply, very plainly, and share with someone because this is where conversation starts. The 12 Logro method is about getting you to conversational Spanish, confident conversational Spanish as quickly as possible, and it starts here. So these are the words and the vowels that will help you sound more natural every single day. Hola. Okay, I know that we've all heard this word before, and this is the one that works any time of day. Formal or casual, it doesn't matter. And you've probably seen this in Spanish literature or word or readings before. The double exclamation marks. So we have what we would call in English as an upside down exclamation mark on the left hand side and a right side up exclamation mark on the right hand side. So let's dive into how do we address someone in the morning. Buenos dias. Another thing I want to point out is this little tilde, Tilde, on top of the I. That just shows you where to put the emphasis of the word when it doesn't naturally fall where it should. Can you say it too? Buenos dias. Excellent. How do you say good afternoon? Well, we have that similar word, except for it's not buenos with an O, it's buenas with an A, but buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. So we're seeing that we are saying that T with kind of similar to our T in English. This one we'll use from the afternoon, so noon till the sun goes down. The next one is similar, buenas. We still see buenas here, buenas noches. That CH makes the same CH sound as it does in English, buenas noches. This has a two-part meaning. It actually is for good evening and good night. So we would say it when we're greeting someone in the evening, like buenas noches, good evening. But we will also say, hey, we're about to go to bed, buenas noches, good night. Already pointed out when I talked about buenos dias and buenas tardes, we have a little change here. So the O to OS to the AS, and that is intentional. So I want you to really be mindful when you say all three of these to make sure you're using the right one because the ending matches the word it describes. And we'll talk more about this when we talk about gender agreement in the next couple lessons whenever you do join us for the Bridge the Gap Spanish 12 Logro method in our community. All right, so along with our greetings theme, this is a common question that you're asked or you will ask when you're saying good morning or hello. How are you? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás is used casually for friends, peers. ¿Cómo está is used more respectfully. So we're thinking elders, strangers, professional settings. Okay, last but not least in this lesson, let's talk about the sound underneath all of this. So Spanish has 5 vowel sounds. That's it. In English, we have all sorts of vowel sounds, right? So I want you to master and focus on mastering these 5. The A sounds like ah. So think about the word father in English. That's the A sound we're going to use. Now, this is where advanced learners really listen to this because it's where you're going to want to really focus and pay attention, because as we learn Spanish, we can kind of slip back into our English ways and say the vowels with all sorts of different sounds, but it's always going to be ah. Hola, we learned that word. Buena, we hear that ah sound. We're using all the greetings that we've already talked about. The E sounds like our bet, bet, the that's in bet in English. ¿Cómo estás? So make sure that E sounds like an e. The I actually sounds like E, our English letter E. So so días. You see how that works? Buen día, E. All right. How about the O? So the O is it's shorter and it's not drawn out. Okay, so O, that's it. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? All right. Last but not least, the U sounds like an oo. Buen día. Okay. I want you to say that with me. A, E, I, O, U. There are only 5 vowels in Spanish. Buenas noches. But you should be able to distinguish that U sound, that E sound, that O, the A, all of them, okay? And I want you to tell me if you hear, and that actually should be 4 because we only have 4 sounds. There's no I. Do you hear all 4 pure sounds? Excellent job. So we've learned a greeting for every time of the day, plus hola and buen dia. That was a extra there for you, as well as how are you, cómo estás, and cómo está, casual versus reflectful. And then our 5 pure vowel sounds. All right, advanced learners, focus on number 3. Focus on number 3. I want you to, as you speak Spanish this week, I want you to think back. Am I using only 5 vowel sounds? Am I adding anything in there? A, I, O, U. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. This probably went a little bit longer than how long our normal lessons will be in each Logro for each lesson, 5 to 10 minutes. This maybe went a little bit longer. We'll have to see once I stop the recording. But thanks so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the BTG Spanish community. Let us know if you have any questions. Hasta pronto.